traders, in today's video I will show you a strategy that needs to be implied on the phone. Many of you in the comments ask me to make a strategy and rarely trades for the phone, so this is the first video in this format. I hope you like it, make some tea and we're starting. Here we are as always on TradingView. This is our beginning, where I will show the essence of the strategy itself. By the way, I forgot to tell you that I received a message from my student from my team, and now you see on screen a photo when he sent me what he finally accomplished. His small but still first dream is to buy a MacBook. This man recently joined our team literally 2 months, and already in 2 months he had such results. His starting budget was also not very large, around $200, which is not much, and after 2 months he is already buying himself an expensive MacBook. This is how the people in my team are developing. So go to the Telegram, link is in the description. There are all the information about how to get in my team, how to contact me, and in general a lot of useful information and personal communication with me. The link to Telegram is in the description. Subscribe. And also don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I will be blessed. And don't forget to write comments. And we are returning to TradingView. We are starting to analyze the strategy. Well, the strategy is that we have applied quite 2 simple but useful indicators. This is accordingly the first indicator called moving average, which is located on the chart, and the second is Williams percentile. Let's tell you a little about moving average as well as for Williams. We have standard settings. For moving average, basically 2 signals are used, this and itself with the line sliding, and we're above or below this. It's important to take into account in a trend change. The second indicator shows this, and it is also quite simple. It shows oversold and overbought. There is -20 is the upper limit and -80 lower. And accordingly it shows us certain turning points and in which part of the chart at the moment we are moving. This is how these 2 indicators work, quite easy. Let's quickly move to the pocket option, where we will begin the most interesting part of our video, trading and testing and showing you the strategy itself in practice. Here, dear traders, we are as always on pocket option. I have identified 8 currency pairs. This is approximately the number we will have today in this video, and accordingly the same indicators, moving average and Williams percentile. Just possibly visually that is different, but the essence is they have the same settings. I repeat, I have completely standard trading. We are on pocket option. You can turn on the indicator in this video, in this window, if anyone is interested. Here we have a quite a minute time frame set on the chart. The balance entered $50. It's small, so you can also start. The transaction time we set exactly 1 minute. That's all configured, dear traders. Let's start testing the strategy. Let's move on to the first currency pair with which we are starting today. Dear traders, we are on the first currency pair. Let's open a downward trade here and proceed to the general analysis. I immediately highlight using the Williams indicator. We see what we have a slight decline in the last range, but by zone we are in the zone from -20 to -80. So this is a kind of consolidation zone. According to our moving average indicator, we are below this moving average and are aimed at the lower position. This is the essence, and I will also conduct small technical analysis, but you can do it on your phone without even drawing, but simply in your head. There are simply volumes of candles, quite strong shadows, mainly on top, and the overall chart is moving in the lower position. Let's watch. Perfectly, our first successful trade closes in plus. We see the the indicators worked 100%. Here the indicator was specially selected for the phone so that there would not a lot of charts, a lot of difficulties, a lot of analysis, quite simple but good combinations of indicators. I also repeat, I will use technical analysis, but don't worry, technical analysis can be done on the phone. I repeat, drawing is absolutely optional. I always draw in my training videos that you can watch on my YouTube channel so that it's more clear to you when I trade in the same way as in the videos. I don't have to draw. So this is a banal highlighting of the support resistance area. The general direction of the charts, the volume of the shadows from the volumes, as it would be quite simple, don't worry. There is nothing complicated, it's just that many people are afraid of what I am drawing, but you can't do it on your phone. It's in fact not necessary. Let's immediately increase the amount of our transaction to $96 already and move on to the second currency pair. Here we are on the second currency pair. Let's open a bullish trade here and start the general analysis again. And according to the Williams indicator, we see that our obvious growth before that was even stronger, but since we see in the shadows there were pullbacks, accordingly there was a slight decline, so the chart leveled off. According to the moving average indicator, also we are below. We are nevertheless clearly directed in the upper position. This plays a very important role for us. The volumes of the candles are also have pleasant shadow, mainly at the bottom, so we open and increase. Everything is pretty easy here. Let's just watch TradingView is also successfully closed in plus, while the strategy is working at 100%. Our balance is already $184.32. Let's immediately increase the amount of our next deal to $184.32 and move on to the third currency pair. Now we have switched to the third currency pair. Let's open a downward trade here and proceed to general analysis. Here this is a particular transaction, a little unrelated to the indicators. Why? I will now explain. It is because the indicators show the true situation. An uptrend like the Williams indicator, so as moving average. This works completely correctly, but here it is important to take into account that at the moment we are the first to reach zone of the peak of resistance. So we can determine by the shadows, plus the candle also has a pretty good volume. More likely now there will be a small rollback and we open our deal. You can also not draw this, but just simply understand it. This is, we have approximately reached the resistance level at this point. The candle has a fairly large volume, which means it will most likely be small, but still there should be a reversal, at which our transaction should be successfully closed. We see that this transaction was successfully closed in plus, as I said. Even here there is a larger rollback, I would say, that I expected, but nevertheless, as we see, it happened because we reached exactly the level of resistance. We even overcame it, but nevertheless they rolled back anyway. We will increase the amount of our next transaction. Let's stop at this amount for now to exactly $300 and move on to the next currency pair. Here we are on the next currency pair. We open a trade for an increase and proceed to the general analysis. We have quite strong active growth, as like as moving average. We see growth, and according to the chart itself, although in the last range it began to show down, nevertheless it holds the level of an upward trend. According to the Williams indicator, we have a similar situation. We are directed to the upper position. So let's watch chart because there is nothing special to say. This deal is excellent again. Also we are closing in plus. Let's for now the amount of our transaction reduced to the size of $150, since I don't advise to take risks all the time. Trade about 10 or 15% from your full balance, or it's $150. This is approximately, I would say, 20 or 25% in this range. It's a bit much, but still I'm experienced trader. And for beginners, I categorically do not recommend exceeding the bar of about 15%. Meanwhile, we are moving immediately to the next and fifth currency pair. So we have moved to the next currency pair. Let's open a downward trade here and proceed to the general analysis. Of course, we have already formed two candles of quite pleasant volume in the direction of downward trend. Then the general trend is also downward. According to the first moving average indicator, we see that it is directed to the lower position and we overcome it downwards. According to the Williams indicator, a similar situation to what we are moving towards the oversold zone. This is our red mark, minus 80. That's absolutely everything tells us about opening a bearish trade, which is what we did. Let's watch this. Very well, the deal also closes in our favor, and we move on to the next currency pair. Here we open a downward position here on the next currency pair and proceed as always to the general analysis. Globally, we have a drawdown and a very strong volume. At the time, there is also a drawdown. We are below this chart. We even see the chart doesn't have time to actually complete the drawing, since the distance is quite large. So according to the Williams indicator, we have a similar situation. We see that we would have tried to make a small reversal. This is also shown on Williams Center, but this reversal didn't happen, and the general downward trend began to be maintained as it was, so the transaction is also opened correctly. Let's follow this. This transaction is also excellent, dear traders. We are successfully closing in plus, and we are moving to the seventh currency pair. I remind you of all the previous currency pair we have close to be an absolutely plus, and this is quite pleasant for us. We see the strategy completely justifies itself. Let me also remind you that with this strategy, don't forget to use the technical analysis. This is a general analysis. I say even without highlighting the special resistance of the support level, just the volume of the shadow candle, the number of some candle, and so on. So easy technical analysis. Let's immediately move on to the next currency pair, where again we will try to close our trade with a plus. Now we have moved on to the next currency pair. Let's open a bullish trade and proceed to general analysis. Why bullish? Because you can highlight along this line. It means that we have slightly reached the upper area, and it's more likely that there will be at least a small push in the upper position. Then we look at the moving average indicator, and for the indicator you can also see that the upward trend is clearly welcomed on our chart. Further, we look at the Williams indicator. It's also headed a little upward without entering the zone of our consolidation. I will also repeat for anyone who doesn't know where we are opening trades. This is the arrow in this table. There is also a trade window on the right, especially for you to make it convenient. Here you can also see where we opened our deal. Let's observe. Perfectly, this deal also closes in plus, and we have already overcome the balance as much as $1,000. Let's make the amount of the last transaction $100. That's little more reduce the risk, and move on to the eighth and last currency pair on which let's consolidate our successful strategy. Dear traders, we open a trade on the last currency pair to go up and proceed to general analysis. If the chart is trying to grow, the volume is quite nice. Shadows are also formed mainly in the lower position, which only pushes the chart towards an upward trend, which is important for us. We see with the moving average indicator that the moving of the indicator is directed upwards and the chart itself is higher. And according to Williams, we also see a clear upward trend. Let's just observe, because everything is as simple as possible here, traders. And on the last currency pair, we are consolidating our today's success, which very nice. Let's probably sum up the two most interesting ones. So the first thing is that this strategy works for phones, and as you can see, it works successfully. The balance we have today, if I'm not mistaken, was around $50, and we increased it to $1,126.89 at the moment. Well, at this stage, I will finish this video. Go to my Telegram channel, the link to which is in the description under this video. There you will find the Telegram, all the information that interests you about training, reviews, about my team, and personal communication with me. There is a link in the description and also in the profile header of the YouTube channel, Dear Traders. Thank you all for watching, guys. I wish everyone a successful trading. Apply the strategy. Don't be afraid. Good luck to everyone, and bye-bye.